Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Hello, this is Warlord 12, and today I'm going to be discussing the problems with Star Wars and Star Wars in general, including, basically Star Wars, Disney, and basically Jedi Survivor. Before I really get into this video, I need to say this to you, EA, because at first I was gonna go off on you, but then I realized what you're doing, EA. You're just doing what is a part of the world. You know what I'm saying? Because I know not all of you probably at EA are probably Christian or what have you, even people at Disney. So, you know what I'm saying? I already decided, don't go off on them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just doing what's a part of the world, right? So, what I figured is, it's not even that I'm angry at your company or even Star Wars Disney company. Now for me, it's more like I'm just disappointed in all of you. I'm disappointed in both of your companies and other gaming companies alike. I'm just disappointed. And EA, and for all of you gaming companies, I needed to say this because it's almost like you gaming companies it's like you've become entitled to getting paid money from your video games or your consoles. What I'm saying is, you expect me and other gamers, right, to buy a game like Jedi Survivor, or let's say, for instance, video games like Cyberpunk 2077. Video games that weren't even finished, video games that, had false advertisement, a little bit similar to Jedi Survivor, right? When it comes to Jedi Survivor's, choreography and gameplay, right? So, more along the lines of Cyberpunk 2077, right? You expect us to buy an unfinished product. You expect us to pay $70 or $80, right, for the next gen gaming consoles, or for the PS5 or the new Xbox. You expect me and any other gamer or anyone who plays video games alike to pay this much money for your video games, and you didn't even finish the video game in the first place? You still have all these bugs going on, and then EA are trying to downplay all this stuff about what's going on with your game? You gaming companies need to grow up. And I'm saying that with a passion. I'm saying the problem is you're not accepting responsibility for what you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? You're the ones who should have did a double check on your video game to begin with. You can't just expect people to just be like, well, EA said they'd fix it, so how about I'll just go ahead and spend $70? Because there's a reality that you might not even really fix all the problems that you should be fixing. You get what I'm saying? You're trying to act like it's the gamer's fault when you won't even point the finger at yourself, when you won't even look at the mirror and take a look at yourself and what your gaming company's doing. This has been the problem with gaming for a while now, a long time now. And a lot of us, we're getting tired of it. And I need to say this because there was someone that I've talked to who's a true Star Wars fan. Big time Star Wars fan, old school Star Wars fan. And even he said he was gonna wait before he bought the new Star Wars game for Jedi Survivor. He said he was gonna wait because he knew something wasn't right. Because that's what gaming is today. When it comes to gaming companies, when they make a certain video game, they don't really hold up their end of the bargain, really. Not recently. So it's like stuff like that This is why people are weary, and they before they buy, they wait to see for they wait for other people to test the games out. And this is also the same problem with the PS5, right? You know, it's like PlayStation, right? They have all these different bugs going on, right? Excuse me. Like, for instance, when it came to the PS4, they had certain bugs. PS5, they have certain bugs, right? So, now the reason why a lot of people probably wouldn't want to buy a PS5 or, you know, a PS4 in the past is because PlayStation, they don't test their stuff. And this is the problem. They need to hire PlayStation. You need to start hiring people who actually know how to play video games. Real gamers. You need to hire real gamers to test your PS5, to test your controllers for your new consoles. Because this is the problem at launch. You expect us to pay a $500, right? And you mean to tell me that your product is unfinished? You mean to tell me that, you know, we got stuff like stick drift and like within 5 to 6 months? Or, you know, a bunch of stuff and glitches are going on with the console itself? And this happens all the time. You know why, PlayStation? Because you don't care. Because you don't care about advancing gaming. Because you don't care about making gaming better. Because you don't really care about your customers. And somebody needs to say it. Because we had enough of this stuff. And the same thing goes for Disney. They don't care about they don't care about true Star Wars fans. Why do you think Star Wars is the way it is right now when it comes to Disney? This has to do with Disney when it comes to video games as a whole when it comes to Star Wars itself. Even Marvel, even all this other stuff with the comics and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see Disney and Lucas having things when it comes to events and things like that, certain events for Star Wars, whatever it is, they want to use tickets. You know why? Because they only want certain people to go. They don't want real fans to go. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to be challenged. That's how that works. And for the record, it's pretty obvious I'm not a Sony pony because I play Xbox games. I play PlayStation and Xbox. I even play GameCube games. I play things like PS2 games, or even things that have to do with other games for the PC, things like that. I already owned a PC game console. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't play that Sony pony trash with me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I wanted to, I could get a new Xbox, but the reason why I didn't get a new Xbox is because Microsoft didn't want to give us games like Scalebound. I would have jumped at the opportunity to buy a new Xbox if they had games like that. You know what I'm saying? Because of things like that, that's one of the top main reasons why I haven't bought an Xbox. Now, there's one game in particular that I know about that I can't really talk about for the Xbox that they're planning to bring out. I can't even talk about what genre it is. All I can say is if they brought that game out recently for the new Xbox, I probably would have bought a new Xbox by now. You know what I'm saying? There are a few things that would get me to buy an Xbox, like the backwards compatibility, but there's a whole ton of things for why I haven't even got an Xbox yet. And I've already talked in my previous videos about PlayStation and Xbox. I'm not on either side. I'm independent. For the record. And I need to say this because if you want to know why the main reason why I didn't fall for this whole thing with Jedi Survivor, right? When it comes to the game having bugs and not being fixed or not being properly polished, the main reason why I didn't fall for it and I kept on waiting was because it's just like, look at this character. The main character for Jedi Survivor, he didn't pass the drip test. I'm not joking about that. I had a drip test for this character. Because he didn't pass it, I said, alright, I'm not buying this game. You know, before you say, oh, looks don't matter, or it's about what's on the inside. And you're right, it is what's all about what's on the inside. However, when it comes to what's on the inside, when we talk about what's on the inside, that has to do also with character design. When I look at this character, It's like, you know what I see? I see a generic Star Wars video game character. And I'm gonna, give you a few things about what I mean by, this character looks generic, especially for a Star Wars standalone video game. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you exactly what the problem is with this particular character. I'm gonna get to Rey in a second. I'm gonna get to Rey soon too. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry. I got something to say about that too. And now what I need to say is about Jedi Survivor, and when it comes to standalone Star Wars video games, why are we always playing as bland characters like this, man? How come we never get to play as like a alien character or something like that from the Star Wars series? You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about for a standalone video game, not a character creation, not a CAC. And before I really get into it, I need to say this about Disney. You know, just like Capcom, they don't care about legacy fans. They don't care about the true Star Wars stuff. They really don't care. You know, just like Capcom when it comes to Darkstalkers series. Now, other than that, when you take a look at all like these pictures that I'm showing you, basically like this mural, all these characters, right? Tell me why these characters look way more interesting than this bland character that they want you to play as for the new Jedi Survivor. Why can't we play as other alien race characters like this? And, you know, characters that actually have, you know, real Star Wars drip. How come we never get stuff like this? How come we never get standalone Star Wars games where we get to play as characters like this? By the way, I'm just using these characters as an example for, you know, alien races in Star Wars. But do you see the problem here? Do you get what I'm saying? And if you want to know an even better idea than Jedi Survivor, you know what they could have had you do? They could have had you play as a Jedi, right? You know, of course, you know, that's trivial, that's obvious. But what I'm saying is, one side you could play as a Jedi, and then the other side you can play as another character that's a Sith. So one character is a Jedi, one character is a Sith. So you could play the good side, or you could play the bad side. They could have did that for the video game instead. You know what I'm saying? Tell me why these ideas are so much more better than what we're getting right now. And then, even to make it even better, the Jedi side, right? You play as like a male character, right? And then for like the Sith side, you play as this new female Sith character. And I'm not talking about character creation. I'm talking about, like I said, a standalone Star Wars video game. Do you get what I'm talking about? Do you get what I'm saying? This is what they should be doing. This is what we should have got. You know, like when we talk about next gen console gaming, especially on a new Xbox or a new PS5, that's what we should have got. And for a game like this, they could have gave you multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? As in, you know, between the two characters, you know, whichever side you chose, like whether Jedi, Sith, and then, you know what I'm saying, could have had your multiplayer. You know, friend helps you out on certain missions or story mode or side missions, you know what I'm saying? But no, of course we don't get stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we don't get stuff like this. Okay, now you see this? Tell me why these characters look better when it comes to character design. It's like, I'm gonna say this right now. These characters aren't from Star Wars, right? But even they do a better job when it comes to having, you know, lightsaber aesthetics and Jedi-like aesthetics. Tell me why this is better than Disney. Tell me why this is better than anything Disney is doing right now. All Disney has right now is Rey coming back. And it's like, what are they gonna do at Rey? You know what I'm saying? You've already seen how Disney has been messing up with Star Wars. Certain things that they're doing on purpose and they don't care. But like I said, because when we talk about character design, man, look at this, Goku Black, right? He's not even like a Sith or a Jedi. Tell me why he has way more better drip than a Jedi Survivor character. Look at him on the other. Look on the side, Kirito, right? Now, I'll admit, the new character for Jedi Survivor, he has a better character than, I would say, character to a certain degree. But as far as, character design and character development that he has had, and then it's like you look at his design and you look at his choreography in combat, tell me why this is better. And then you have Ryoko over here, female character, right? Using something that's similar to a lightsaber. Tell me why this is way better than what Star Wars is right now. Look at the drip. Then over here you have Travis Touchdown, dual wielding. Bro, like, anime and video games are doing a way better job than anything Disney is coming up with right now. They're doing a way better job. Do you see the problem and the difference here? You know what I'm saying? Tell me why I'd rather play as these characters than the new Jedi Survivor character. Tell me why I'd rather play as these characters. Bro, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's crazy how things are right now. And tell me why a video game character, not only a video game character, but a character like Xemnas from the Kingdom Hearts series, does a better job at being a Jedi or a Sith. You know what I'm saying? You know how he's got these, plasma or ethereal blades, his lightsaber looking swords that he has coming out of his hands? Tell me why even he looks better. Do you see what I'm saying? Disney needs to step it up. Because, you know what I'm saying? One day, I hope Disney realizes one day that, we really don't need Disney. I say that because they just do certain things acting like, oh, like we need them so bad. And I'm like, dude, do you not see the stuff that anime has been making? Do you not see the stuff, Disney, that other gaming companies have been making? Like, a lot of franchises could easily replace you. I'm not even joking about that. You know what I'm saying? Even, when it comes to Avengers, right? How they got their multiverse characters. You don't think anime is gonna do something like that one day? I'm not even joking about that. Now you see this, Disney? When it comes to Star Wars characters, yes, I know a character like Satele has been known to be, canon recently, but there was a time where she wasn't canon, right? So this is what I'm going with, the idea of when Satele wasn't canon. I'm saying how I'm tying this whole thing in for a reason. So, you mean to tell me that your non-canon characters, tell me why is it, Disney, that your non-canon characters for Star Wars, right, are way more interesting than your character like your main character for Jedi Survivor, or even some of your other Disney characters like Rey? Tell me why your non-canon characters are way more interesting when it comes to their lore and their story. You know what I'm saying? And even their character design. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that you don't have anything like this? This is like just a big whole disappointment when it comes to the Star Wars franchise that Disney has been working on. And I know Disney likes to use excuses like, oh, well, Lucas did this or Lucas did that. And, it's both of you. For a lot of the decisions it's been making, Disney, you have a big part in that as well. You can't keep trying to blame it on Lucas, because we already know who's really at fault here. Especially when it comes to your department, when it comes to the decisions you've been making for Star Wars. You get what I'm saying? Because we know who's really pulling the strings. And as for you, EA Games, tell me why a PS3 game is well polished and actually complete. Tell me why a PS3 game is complete, but a PS5 game like Jedi Survivor isn't a complete game. Tell me why a PS3 game doesn't have a ton of bugs like Jedi Survivor. This doesn't make any sense. This isn't just for you, EA. This is also for all you other gaming companies. Because games like this put the PS5 games to shame. Why is it that a PS3 game is finished, but a PS5 game isn't? And I also need to say this about, you know, Star Wars, for the character Galen Merrick. For all you people out there that were Star Wars fans that had to do with, Galen Merrick not being canon, at first I was upset about how you decided to make him non-canon. Telling telling Lucas that he shouldn't be canon. But you know what? When I was upset at the time, after that though, I wasn't so much upset anymore. You know why? Because I realized something. I said, you know what? It is good that Galen Merrick isn't canon. But you know why I agree with something like that? It's because Disney time and time again has been ruining amazing, great characters like Ahsoka's character. I'll get to that in a sec soon enough. But basically, when it comes to certain characters, right? Galen Merrick is one of the last Sigma male characters that you're probably ever gonna see in a Disney franchises. You know, other than characters like Darth Vader or Darth Raven, you're not gonna see characters like Galen Merrick, right? Until Disney changes their ways, you're not gonna see Sigma male characters like that when it comes to the Star Wars franchise. But like I said, I'm glad he's non-canon because he's a continuous reminder of what Star Wars is, what Disney Star Wars is without a character like Galen Merrick. And I'm pretty sure that sooner or later, Disney would probably get to a point where they get so desperate that they'll probably try and bring up the character and be like, oh, he's canon now. But you know why they would do that? Because they know they need the money. And this is why I say, let him be non-canon. As long as Disney can't use him, fine. That's how I look at that. Because you know what, Disney? You don't deserve an amazing, great character like Galen Merrick. Especially since you sided already with him being non-canon. You don't deserve a character like him. And I need to say this to you Star Wars fans that didn't want him to be canon in the first place. Tell me why a character who's non-canon, right, makes it into the Soul Calibur series. What character can you say actually made it into Soul Calibur 4, other than Darth Vader and Yoda? Can you say for all these other characters, can you say that Rey made it into Soul Calibur? No, you can't. But Merrick did it. You see what I'm saying? This should show how popular of a character Galen is and how okay with some people are with having Galen Merrick be canon. And people have already talked about how he could be canon and what would make sense. There's no excuses, because I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other characters that probably don't even make sense that are canon. But I guess people are okay with those characters, right? But even then, like I said, man, can you say for all these other characters that are Star Wars characters that are canon, can you say that they made it into to Soul Calibur 4? No, you can't. Now, what I mean by how Disney is ruining characters like Ahsoka Tano, what I'm saying is they're trying to use characters like Ahsoka. That's what Disney's trying to do. Disney's trying to use characters like Ahsoka and other characters from, Marvel and Avengers, right? All these other female characters, they're trying to use them to demasculine men. That's what Disney is trying to do. You know what I'm saying? For like the people that are in charge, directing and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they're doing this, but it's becoming toxic. It's pretty obvious that they're doing this stuff on purpose. And a lot of us, Star Wars fans, we've had enough of it. A lot of people are tired of it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to start that gender war stuff, go start that somewhere else on someone else's channel. Because what I'm talking about here is balance and the problem with Disney. Because, don't get me wrong, I like female characters, especially in Star Wars. My favorite female characters are Ahsoka Tano and Satele. Raven's daughter. But like I said, here's the problem here though. Like I said, Disney's trying to use female characters to, domesticate men. It's getting ridiculous now. And like I said, the thing that Disney's trying to do, they really think that they can control people, like they used to. And it's not working anymore. Because we're living in a new day and age now. And not only that, it's like, sooner or later, I hope Disney realizes that we don't need them. Because there's other pieces of media that a lot of us could get into. There's anime, there's video games, there's other movies and other franchises, and even other comics. Instead of whatever Disney's trying to do, whatever trash that Disney's trying to, give us or feed to people. And it's not, like I said, it's not working anymore like they think it is, or like they want it to work. Because we're not putting up with it. And that's what Disney wants. They want people to be silent. They don't want anyone challenging them. They don't want any of them calling them out on the trash that they've been making for Star Wars series, Marvel, and Avengers, and all the other stuff. Why do you think it is that we don't have a Marvel versus DC for a video game or a movie? So now I'm just showing, when it comes to alien characters in a Star Wars, like, this is obvious. This obviously isn't Star Wars, but just like Star Wars, there's other alien characters, and it should be obvious that we want to play as stuff like this. Alien characters that could use lightsabers. We should have been got stuff like this. It's a new era of gaming. Um, even, what I'm saying? When it comes to gaming and Star Wars, that's what we want to do. That's the type of thing we would like to play. I don't get why this hasn't been out yet. It's ridiculous. And now my other question for people who play Star Wars games, would you rather play as this particular character or would you rather play as, characters like these? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to getting an actual character to play as, not something from, Jedi Survivor. Characters like this. But, that's about it on Warlord 12. And
Wow. Mildif, that was inspired.
Next time you want the best.
You